When people think of Japan, they often picture the majestic Mount Fuji or the breathtaking cherry blossoms that paint the land in spring. Yet beyond its natural beauty, Japan hides another treasure, a wealth of unique crops, nurtured with patience, creativity, and the devotion of its farmers. If in the previous part we explored the shadowy world of Udo and the vast lotus fields, today our journey leads us to a new realm, the world of mushrooms, vegetables, and fruits that may seem familiar, but in Japan, take on an entirely different form. In damp forests and carefully controlled greenhouses, mushrooms are treated like treasures. The Japanese have elevated mushroom cultivation into an art. Logs are drilled with tiny holes, spores are carefully inserted, and the environment is meticulously maintained with the right humidity and light. Mushrooms are not merely food. They are a source of nourishment and an integral part of culinary culture. Some grow large enough to resemble tiny umbrellas, while others are delicate and fragile, trembling at the slightest touch. But the real wonder lies in their flavor. Deep, refined, and lingeringly sweet. A taste that lingers in memory long after the meal. Leaving behind the mushroom farms, we arrive at fields of cabbage. But these are no ordinary cabbages. In Japan, some cabbages grow so large they resemble giant balls, weighing tens of kilograms. Farmers carefully tend each leaf from the moment of planting, monitoring water, soil, and protection. By day, the cabbages bask in sunlight. By night, they are wrapped under covers to shield them from frost. The result is a harvest where every head is flawless, leaves lush and green, tightly packed, sweet and crisp. Just one look at them, and you can almost feel the joy and pride of the farmers who worked tirelessly for months. Japan is also celebrated for fruits that have become symbols of perfection. Imagine an apple not just shiny and round, but 2 or 3 times the size of an ordinary one. Behind its glossy skin lies a labor of love. Farmers handpick blossoms, keeping only a few on each branch so that the nutrients concentrate in fewer fruits. As the apples grow, they are individually wrapped in special paper bags to protect them from pests and to ensure a brilliant color. By the time they ripen, each apple is plump, crisp, and explosively sweet. In Japan, some apples are sold for hundreds of dollars, not only for their flavor but as icons of excellence and respect for nature. But that is not the end of the story. Japan has even succeeded in cultivating exotic fruits from other lands. One of the most surprising is the durian, known for its controversial aroma. Durian requires tropical conditions, yet Japanese farmers have recreated this environment with precision, adjusting temperature and humidity to mimic the tropics. When the first durians were harvested, it was not just an economic victory, but a symbol of human perseverance in overcoming challenges. Then, there are the dragon fruit orchards, glowing like lanterns at night. When dragon fruit flowers bloom, pure white and luminous under the moonlight, the sight is like a dream. Farmers even light electric bulbs to ensure the blossoms open at the right time, guaranteeing a steady crop. The fruits that follow are both striking and refreshingly sweet. Embraced in Japan is a delightful new taste from afar. And let us not forget bananas and pineapples. In a country known for its temperate climate, cultivating tropical fruits is a remarkable achievement. Japanese bananas are small, fragrant, and famously edible with the peel thin-skinned, sweet, and safe to enjoy whole. Pineapples, golden and aromatic, burst with juice in every slice, leaving anyone who tastes them nodding with satisfaction. Each of these crops is more than just food. They carry within them the spirit of hard work, ingenuity, and love for the land. From forest shadows rise prized mushrooms, from cold fields emerge radiant apples, and from temperate soil blossom dragon fruits, bananas, and pineapples. Every harvest is proof of resilience and wisdom. This is what makes Japanese produce extraordinary. They're not only delicious or beautiful, they tell a story of people, of culture, of harmony with nature. When you hold a Japanese apple, taste a cabbage leaf, or savor a mushroom, you are not only tasting the sweetness of the earth, but also the sweat, effort, and heart of the farmers who nurtured them. As we continue our journey through Japanese agriculture, there is one question that surprises anyone who first encounters these treasures. How can fruits that seem so ordinary become masterpieces, sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars? The answer can be captured in one word: devotion. For the Japanese, fruits are not treated as simple food. They are regarded as precious gifts, symbols of elegance and perfection. This is why every grape, every melon, every peach is nurtured with the same care and precision that an artist gives to a work of art. Let's begin with the famous ruby Roman grapes. Known as the red jewels of the land, each grape is almost as large as a ping-pong ball, with a plump, glossy skin that seems to shine with light. But more astonishing than their appearance is the flavor. Delicately sweet, full-bodied, with a refined aftertaste that feels like savoring a fine wine. To produce these flawless clusters, farmers dedicate an entire year to meticulous care, thinning out smaller grapes, shielding each cluster from harsh sunlight with protective paper bags, and measuring sweetness before harvest. It is no wonder that a single bunch of ruby Roman grapes can be auctioned for thousands of dollars. They are not merely produce, they are the embodiment of perfection. Next are the Yubari melons, grown exclusively in the cold northern land of Hokkaido. Farmers here treat each melon plant as a treasure. From the beginning, only one fruit is left on each vine, so all nutrients concentrate into it. As the melon matures, it is placed on soft mats to prevent blemishes on its skin. When harvest arrives, the fruits are perfectly round, with pale green rinds patterned with delicate white veins, nature's lacework. Inside, the flesh glows bright orange, releasing a sweet aroma and flavor so rich it feels almost unreal. At auction, a pair of Yubari melons has been sold for tens of thousands of dollars, a price that seems unbelievable. Yet for the Japanese, it represents the pinnacle of devotion and agricultural artistry. Equally celebrated are Japanese peaches. Unlike common peaches with rough skin, Japanese peaches are smooth and velvety, reminiscent of a young maiden's skin. When sliced open, the flesh is snow white, tender, and juicy. A single bite releases sweet nectar that fills the mouth. In Japanese culture, peaches are often presented as gifts, expressing deep respect and heartfelt sentiment. A box of peaches, carefully wrapped, may cost hundreds of dollars, but they are cherished not for the price, but for the refinement and reverence they carry. What makes Japanese fruit truly special is not just the taste, but the philosophy behind it. For Japanese farmers, cultivating fruit is more than earning a living. It is an expression of harmony with the land and sky. Fruits are not rushed into casual consumption, but chosen as gifts for meaningful occasions. Such a gift carries not only sweetness, but also a message. I honor you as deeply as we honor this land. Behind every cluster of grapes, every melon, every peach, stands the quiet figure of a farmer. They rise before dawn to check each vine and fruit. They labor under the scorching summer sun and endure the freezing winds of winter. Their rough, calloused hands handle the fruits as tenderly as an artisan sculpting fine porcelain. For them, every harvest is not just an income, it is pride, reputation, and legacy. This is the true spirit of Japanese agriculture, the spirit of transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. It is no coincidence that Japanese fruits are celebrated worldwide. In them, people find completeness. Completeness of flavor, completeness of beauty, and completeness of human devotion.
Across the endless fields and the deep green forests of Japan, farmers dedicate their lives to the land. They do more than just plant seeds, they plant determination, creativity, and the hope. From their hands come agricultural treasures that carry the spirit of the seasons and the essence of Japanese culture. What makes it even more remarkable is how their perseverance and the innovation have elevated Japanese agricultural products to international fame. These harvests not only feed the nation but also symbolize pride, quality, and the cultural heritage. Today, we'll embark on a fascinating journey to discover some of Japan's most unique crops, from the mysterious wild vegetable known as udo to the pure white lotus roots of Lake Kasumigaura, then deeper into the forests where shiitake mushrooms grow, in the Beyonte, cabbage fields, apple orchards, durian gardens, dragon fruit plantations, banana groves, and the pineapple farms. Every harvest tells a story of patience, of tradition, and of resilience. And our journey begins with udo, a wild but precious Japanese plant. For centuries, udo has been part of the Japanese spring diet. Although it grows like a wild plant, its flavor and the value are far from ordinary. There are two main varieties, Yama udo and the Nanka udo. Yama udo grows naturally in the mountains, green and wild-looking, with thick upright stems. Nangka udo, on the other hand, is grown using a special softening technique, shielded from sunlight. This makes it white, tender, and delicately flavored. Both varieties sprout in early spring, between March and April. But the growing environments create a striking difference in appearance and taste. Growing Nangka udo is no more easy task. Farmers construct underground tunnels just 1 meter high, where the plants stretch upward in complete darkness. After 30–40 days, when they reach about 70 centimeters, they are ready to be harvested. But the harvest is tough. Farmers must squat in the cramped tunnels, carefully cutting each stalk and placing it into wooden boxes. This work often leads to back and knee pain, yet they persist, knowing every stalk represents their labor and pride. Time is critical. Once exposed to sunlight, udo quickly turns green and loses its delicate appearance. That's why many farmers have now switched to indoor cultivation, which ensures higher yields and less dependence on weather conditions. Unlike many other wild vegetables, which often taste bitter, udo is refreshingly crisp with a faint sweetness. It can even be eaten raw, thinly sliced in salads or paired with miso. The crunch resonates in your mouth, followed by a subtle sweetness that lingers, making udo the pride of Takikawa, where it is celebrated as a seasonal delicacy. Beyond flavor, udo carries symbolic meaning. It represents the vitality of spring in Japan, a season of rebirth, renewal, and fresh beginnings.
Leaving the underground tunnels of Udo, we arrive at Lake Kasumigara, Japan's second largest lake. This region is celebrated as the nation's lotus root capital, blessed with fertile soil and abundant water. The fields around the lake produce some of the finest lotus roots in Japan. While lotus flowers enchant with their beauty, the roots beneath the mud are equally precious. Lotus roots are harvested from July through the following March. In summer, young lotus roots taste crisp and sweet, almost like pears. As the year progresses and starch accumulates, their flavor becomes richer and more starchy, perfect for simmered and traditional dishes. What is truly fascinating is that lotus roots harvested from the same lake differ in taste depending on the season. This keeps consumers excited, eagerly waiting to taste the year's unique harvest. From afar, the harvest looks like farmers wading in muddy water up to their shoulders. In reality, they must dive into mud layers nearly 50 to 60 centimeters deep, using high-pressure water jets to loosen the soil and gently extract each root. It requires patience and skill because lotus roots twist and curve underground. If a farmer breaks them, their market value drops significantly. One farmer explains, "Digging lotus roots is like searching for treasure in the mud. Only with patience and delicate hands can you bring them out whole." On average, 1 kilogram of lotus root sells for about $2.80, a respectable price for a humble root. After being pulled from the mud, the roots are washed multiple times to preserve their pristine whiteness. They are then sent to processing facilities where they are sliced, canned, or chilled within just 2 days of harvest. Appearance is just as important as taste. The naturally patterned holes inside each root resemble flower petals, symbolizing purity and good fortune. Culturally, lotus roots also carry a unique belief because of their hollow structure that allows you to see through. They are thought to bring clarity and foresight to one's life. These are the stories of Udo, the gift of spring, and Kasumigara's lotus roots, treasures born from the mud. Both not only nourish the body, but also enrich the soul, connecting people to nature, tradition, and the spirit of resilience.